Hey everybody, it's your friend James Shaw. Trust doing okay. Happy day to you, and thanks for being here. We're going to do what we always do, which is interview elite people who are doing elite things, and I'm excited to do that today. Here's what's happening. Right now, it's all about how you market and price the home to get it sold. You price it right and run the right plays. Chances are you get multiple offers to choose from and get your seller the most money. And we're going to talk about how to leverage open houses to do that today. And we've got some amazing ladies who are going to join us and share. Julie and Ish are here with us today, and they're basically running a very similar playbook. And so we're going to teach it to you so you can use it too and have some great success. But let's meet our guest today. Julie, you want to introduce yourself? Tell us who you are and where you're from, and a little bit about you.
Yeah, Julie Hess, and I am in the Harrisburg area. I cover Central PA. That would be the Harrisburg, Hershey, kind of east of Philadelphia. Yeah, I have a small team. I've been in business since 2010, so I'm going into my 14th year, and came in a very down market. So when this market started to shift, I thought, okay, we're good. We're good. We know how to do this. We're excited.
You're ready to go and running the plays. I like
Ready
it.
to go.
Ish, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, my name is Ahmed. I'm from Palm Beach, South Florida. And this is my 4th year, and I'm solo agent. And my 2nd year was it was very good. It's picking up, but I think the COVID time, I play with your playbooks, and my COVID time, I picked up so hard, like my production went so double of what I make, and I never let that go. So that's what I'm doing.
It's working for you, which I love. And of course, both of you are on our Pivot Shift Ahead calls pretty much every morning. Both of you are members of the Inspire Collective, which is our private mastermind community. So you're dedicated to growing and getting better. But more importantly, as we like to say, you go from inspiration to perspiration. You take idea and strategy and put it to work. Ish, I want to start with you because you have had some amazing success over the last couple of months by doing some different things. You said your production's growing. It's better than it's ever been in this kind of market. What's working for you, and why do you think it's working?
I didn't when the COVID happened, and I was like, from the day 2, I was in your Pivot Shift community, and I took that all in, and I didn't let the COVID, like what we did in COVID, I never let it go. I feel like every market is challenging, and if I keep on pursuing those, it just keep on growing and growing. And that I have proved. My 2019 is my first year. I just did 5-6 deals because I started in off, but 2020 I doubled, tripled. Now I think I'm gonna close almost 24 properties in this month. In this year, maybe more. Every month I'm closing 4 or 5 deals, and it's just like following up and know your market. That's what I do. I just research my market very well. And then when I talk to my people, listing buyers, I tell them what's going on in the market and give a background stories of with my other clients, what we have faced.
This is all great. Julie, you'd take this, right? And from going from 5 deals in a year to 3 years later, you're doing 25 deals in a year. That's a pretty good business. And I think you'd take that, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, what both of you are doing is using open houses to help you. So, Julie, you've introduced this plan to us. So I want you to kind of walk us through this pricing it strategically and using open houses as part of the strategy. Walk us through the plan that you're using. Ish is also running, and then I'll talk to both of you about best practices and lessons learned and stuff like that. So tell us about the play, Julie.
Okay. So, I put a lot of thought into this throughout the years. And one of the things is my time is really important. So I'll be honest, when I first started, I didn't want to do open houses because it's football season and I'm going to have 2 hours of sitting in an open house and no one shows up. Then I started to realize there's nothing worse than to tell your sellers, oh, we only had 2 people come through. And that used to give me a pit in my stomach that they, get their home ready and they go out. And then I have to write, we had 2 people come through. So we started thinking about, what's the best, return for our money. And really, going into COVID made us really rethink how to do this. And so what we're solution based. And I started thinking about the whole purpose of the open house. And if you put the listing on like on a Tuesday and you have an open house on Sunday, everybody's already seen it. They're online, and our buyers are online to eliminate which homes they're going to go out to see. So our strategy was, how can we get the most amount of people in this home? And so what we did was, if the open house is on a weekend, like let's say a Sunday, we go coming soon on a Thursday with the front photo of the home and the information. And then on our showing time, it's blocked out. So no one gets into the open house until 1 o'clock on Sunday. And then the rest of the photos come up the day before, because our photos are only done about a day before, we go active. And that way it starts to create this urgency for the buyers and the buyers' agents to come to the open house. And what it has done, and I mean, we literally make sure nobody's in at 1, even if they're lined up. It's like, we're not ready. And we've even done a little ribbon cutting lately, like now we're open for business, but we are open for business starting at 1 p.m. on Sunday. And then what we do is we typically have about 3 of us there. And the reason for that is because this has brought probably, I'd say, between 35 and more people come through at every open house. Our goal was always to have 25 buyers at every open house, and that's successful. And that's something to tell the seller. The other opportunity is it gives us the opportunity to sell the home. And I don't mean dual agency. I mean, we know the home. We get to interact with all the buyers and their agents and really get to answer all their questions, walk them through the home. So I'm the one that greets and meets, gets all the information, and they sign in. And I do have a script that I follow for the questions that I ask. And then they go by, and then usually there's another agent, not too far from me. It depends on the style of the home, how many agents we have, but we usually have 3. And what this has done is, I have to tell you, we've just looked at our stats, and from our open house, we are finding that our buyers that bring us the contract are usually somebody that we met and we chatted with at the open house, whether they have an agent or not. It doesn't matter. They call their agent. They're like, oh my gosh, we got this information. Agent calls, we built the relationship, and we're getting our offers from our open house, plus lots of opportunities to engage with other agents. And, our goal is always find 2 leads from every open house.
This is a super smart strategy, and I want to chat about it because a couple of things. First, whenever we say coming soon, this freaks some agents out. So I want to just clean this up real quick. First of all, you got to follow your MLS rules, which Julie is doing. When you say coming soon, you're putting it in the MLS. It's there. What you're saying is showings start Sunday at 1 o'clock. That's what you're doing, right? So all showings can start Sunday at 1. That, by the way, we're going to have an open house at that time too, but it creates opportunity. It's totally cool. It's totally fine. And so just make sure that you're checking with your MLS so you word it the right way or do whatever. Now, Ish, this is the play you're running. You're running Julie's play. You've heard her mention it before, and it's working for you. What would you add to the strategy? What would you add to what Julie's running that you've used to make it even better?
So I do the coming soon too, exactly the same thing. Because in our MLS, we can do it at least 5-7 days before coming soon. I do the same thing. I do the coming soon on Wednesday. And what I do is, as soon as I put it in coming soon, me and I have another agent, and he does most of my door knocking. So what we do is we make flyer, we go and invite our neighbors, of the seller's neighbors. And then in that flyer, we say that especially for you, there's a QR code for all the pictures inside the house. And especially for you, you are invited. If the open house is on Saturday from 12 o'clock, you are invited at 11 o'clock, especially for you, you get the privilege to see it before anybody else. And that has created me, like the one open house that I talked about, that is actually from another open house, and I'm gonna have 2 more listings on the same neighborhood, and just doing that. And it goes for all of my listings. I always get 1 more listing out of it. So this is, and everything else, what Julie does, I'm doing it, and tons of buyers comes in. And you also get to meet the other agents, answer all their questions. I also greet them. I'm the first one to greet, and then I also do it with 2 or 3 people, agents, to help me out. And I put them, like, if there is a swimming pool outside or bigger backyard, I put somebody at the back. I am always the greeter, and then somebody in the middle to show the house and answer everything in details.
Oh, it's so smart. I love all of this. All right. So what you've added to it is that you're doing the neighbors only preview, which is common. We've done this, but because there's no showings, you're doing it from 11 to 12, the hour before. This is your chance, right, Ish, to be able to connect with potential sellers. And what I love is you're earning listings from it, right?
Every single time. I'm not even like, even with a townhouse that no showing, no open, you know, like you cannot put an open house thing or anything. I got a listing out of it, which I'm putting it next week. So it's just like that. And what I do for their QR, because people are so smart, they have Redfin, they have internet, and you know the address, they will put it in. They can pull it up what's inside that house, but there's no picture to see. But I am giving you an exclusive look on your QR code. By that, I'm capturing their information, obviously, and they're seeing the house inside and out.
Is it just pointing to your KW site or whatever? Is that what you're using?
Yes, and the whole thing, yes.
Okay, I love it. And so you're meeting your MLS requirements by putting in the picture of the front of the home. And again, I'm just saying you got to follow your MLS rules. So if they require 4 photos, then put in 4 photos. But you're not adding any extra photos until later. Now, I'm curious, and either one of you can answer, when you sit down on a listing appointment and walk through this strategy with the seller, how do you walk them through it and explain what you're going to do and why you're going to do it and that it's a benefit to them? Either one of you can start that off.
So with me, first, the permission for the open houses, and may I explain what we do and why we do it. And so I believe that I go through the process of, once again, the buyers are online and they're online looking to eliminate the home. So all the marketing that we do, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, is to get belly to belly, face to face, or a phone call, because that's where, you know, we can do our transaction. So the purpose of the open house is, and I tell them, it's to create that urgency, especially in today's market. And if we can get a large group at the home at one time and they're listening to each other, you know, they're there with their agent, they see somebody else's with their agent, they're seeing, you know, a couple out in the front yard having a serious discussion. Now they're telling their agent, oh my gosh, look at them, they're going to write an offer. So the whole idea is, while we have the opportunity in the market that we're in, is to create urgency that, you know, the end result would be choices for them with multiple offers, and with multiple offers will give us opportunity for different choices. So that's really how I present it to them. And also, we're not waiting, we're proactive in everything that we do. And so to put a home active on a Tuesday and say we have an open house on Sunday, in my brain makes no sense. Because by that time, we're going to have an unsuccessful open house. And then Mr. and Mrs. Seller, when the buyer's agents come in, because I can be a buyer's agent as well, and I don't know about the home, I'm going to be calling the listing agent. It's my opportunity to sell your home to everybody that comes through.
Yeah. Ish, what would you add?
That idea.
Yeah, I love it.
Like what she said, I just add up, like, you know, when in a Thanksgiving, especially in Thanksgiving, we all wait for the same type of TV that we can go and buy in Best Buy, but we know it's coming on Thanksgiving night at that time, and you see so many people putting a line on there. And just to make that attractive, that's why we would like to do an open house, to bring more attraction to your house, and this is what happened when people see that there is a line, there is a queue of people, not 1 or 2, like 10, 12, 30 people walking into your house. What would you have done as a buyer? And they answer me, I don't answer. I go, oh, we would just like, oh my God, this house is a hot property. And then what do? Okay, we would offer an amount that is very attractive. Okay, exactly. So it's not going to be the same price, the listing price. Most of the time it comes higher and above the asking price. So this is why we want to do open house this way.
Oh, it's so smart. Now, the next thing is, you've both made pricing part of this strategy. And I know, Ish, you've had some great results on this too. Tell us a little bit about the pricing strategy you walk through with your sellers when it comes to these open houses.
So I do my regular CMA, RPR, and I get my recommended price. And what I do is, this is actually, I learned from my buyers. And my buyers, it doesn't matter what I tell them, they always go to Redfin or Realtor.com to look at it and look, no, this is the price they have, estimation, whatever, or guesstimate. So what I do is I go back with my recommended price. I go back to Realtor.com and Redfin to see what is the price they're showing. And then I do an average of Redfin and Realtor.com. Then I go to my most favorite place, that is that our MLS has showing time. In showing time, you can go to the report section, and there is a market analysis report, which shows you can filter it like price range, city and zip code, and what type of house. Is it a single home or a townhouse? That will literally give you the price range the most buyer are clicking into. Whole internet. So that gives you an idea. Your let's say the house is for seller want 475, and you're seeing that everybody is selling it for 470, 460. So which is your attractive price? And I look at everything, it comes out like 465 is gonna be the most attractive price range to put in, because that would literally put people into like, oh, this house, its price not too low, but enough, little lower than the actual market price. And then they put it higher and makes it like 50,000, 40,000 up.
I see Julie taking notes. She likes the strategy that you're doing. What you told Vicky as we were preparing for this interview, Vicky helps with all of these interviews and things that we do. And what you told her was, you said on your last open house, you priced it at 415.
No, 460, 60.
460. You priced it at 460.
Yes.
You got 12 offers.
Yes.
3 were over list price and had escalations.
Yes.
The first offer, or the one you accepted, was 505, but they found that there was an AC repair. So you were able to adjust for that, and you had backups. And this is all because you walked through the data and presented that the list price is not about value, it's about strategy.
Exactly.
And the open house is also about strategy, right, Ish?
Exactly. And my seller was very hard-headed. I worked with him before. He's he's like, no, I want this amount. I want that in my pocket. I want 470 in my pocket. I don't care. That's how everybody is selling it. I'm like, you want 470? If I put it for 470, what do you think that this market will give you? This is what, and the Redfin, Realtor.com, and the showing time report is not for me, because I know I know my price. It is for them, for my seller to see what is other people and showing data. That's all. And I'm gonna tell you, they tell, I never tell them, I ask question. They answered there. So they're like, what do you think then? Should we then price this? Price 460, 470? What do you think? 465? Okay, 460. I bet you it's going to go high.
Yeah.
And also the trick of the thing is this, because I'm very heavy in buyer's agent. So I am in buyers. So I know this trick. To get high demand property, we price it, we put an offer 500, 550, because we know that, oh, it's not going to appraise that. We can do that thing. I make sure that I know my price. I know what is going to be appraised. I make sure that you give me that appraisal gap, $15,000, $20,000.
Yeah.
Else I'm not going to even go to your contract, because you're going to always have a cash buyer there.
Yeah,
for sure.
I love it. It's really good. It's really good.
Thank you.
Julie, you've got some more about pricing, and then I want to talk strategy around, hey, you might do weeknight open houses. You've got a certain amount of time frame, some other logistics.
Yeah, so I do the same thing with pricing. I lean heavily on RPR and then cross-reference everything with ArtBright. And then what I do, obviously, is make sure that I'm showing which homes did stay on the market or sat on the market and why they sat on the market. And so one of the, I tell people, I never use the word I guarantee, but I have picked up this word. I promise you that if we overpriced your home, we will chase the market. May I explain? And let me show you. And so I showed them what their comparisons are and where they started, and in today's market, where they ended up at and how they ended up losing money because they overpriced. And in today's market, yes, you can overprice. And I think that's a big misconception people feel. I love to strategize. So Mr. and Mrs. Seller, let's strategize on how we can get you to this point that you want to be and where we need to start. And, let the market, I'm not the market, that's the buyers. Let the market drive it up. Does that sound interesting? And the other night I sat with a couple and I said, what price would you be okay with? And they said, okay, this is the price. What price would you be happy with? And they go, well, we'd be happy with $650. All right. Well, what price would make you dance in the street? And then he said, well, my golly, if you got a $680, I'd be dancing in the street. Great. Let's take a few minutes and strategize how we can get you dancing in the street, or at least from okay to being happy. And yet I promise you, if we start at the 680, we're going to go the opposite way, where you're not going to be happy. You're not going to be dancing in the street, and you're certainly not going to be okay. So I love to strategize. And so I like to walk them through some of those exercises, but definitely show them what is sitting, and then show them the opposite. Is this particular home went on for this amount. It was only on the market for 5 days, and this is where it ended up. And you can see how the market drove it up. And if the market drives it up, once again, you're going to have options to choose from. And would you like to have options to choose from?
Folks, this is a masterclass from these two ladies, legit, straight up. Inspire members, those of you who are part of our Inspire Collective, which both Julie and Ish are, we're going to put together a little playbook, just a one-page kind of how to run this play, the best practices from both agents so that you can go in and download it. If you're not an Inspire member, go join Inspire so you can get it, or go back and watch the video and take notes. You can still have the info, but I think they've given you a masterclass on how to do it. And I think it's important we understand the purpose of the open house. The purpose of the open house is not just something you add on to appease the seller because the home isn't selling. That's a irresponsible open house. Mm-hmm. It gives the seller false hope, and it's a waste of everyone's time. Mm-hmm. What you're doing is looking at the open house as the strategy to launch this listing. We're going to price it effectively, so we bring in the most offers. We're going to wait to allow any showings until this open house. We're going to get everybody in and create demand, create excitement around it, and then drive that opportunity up. That's what you're doing. It's a really smart way to do it. I love it. Julie, what final pro tip would you give somebody as we wrap up?
For an open house, or just
for what we're talking about, this open house and pricing strategy, what pro tip would you give them?
Well, I would say my pro tip would be just do it. Just follow this. And the big key is treat it like we're open for business at 1 o'clock. Make it an event. This coffee shop's opening on this date. This brewery is opening up this date. 123 Main Street is opening up this date at 1 o'clock. Grand opening from 1 to 3. Make it an event and really, market it, door knock, and make it a big event, and no one can get in. And that no one that can't get in is what drives it. I had a couple come dressed. They were a beautiful couple. Their background was Indian. They just were gorgeous. They walked in. I'm like, oh my golly, you dressed for our open house? And they said, no, we're on our way to a wedding. And we knew there was no way we were going to miss this open house. So we only have a little bit of time and we're running late, but we were not going to miss this open house.
Wow.
That's what we want to create. And that's what our sellers are hiring us to do.
Yeah, no doubt. Ish, what's your pro tip?
Exactly same. Like, do not open the door till it's time. Make them wait and create that excitement. Mm-hmm. That's the best way to do it. And when this is so funny, like people see 4 people standing in a line, they're like, oh, they don't even have to like the house. They're also standing on the line. And that's how create the demand. And I will always tell everybody, like, I hear from everyone in all of our, shows in the morning show that they're struggling with seller about the pricing. Don't argue. There's nothing to argue. It's their home. They don't want to sell. They don't want to sell. If they don't, we cannot make them sell their house. But use nice stories. We have so many stories thanks to you. There's so many stories out there. We can always add our stories and make it sound like you're not doing it, but this happened with another client of mine. Make it your story, another person's story, but make it your story. Yep. This happened. This house didn't sell because he wanted this. And this house sold because he listened to us, and
Yep.
this is how it happened. What
It's
do
great.
you want to do?
It's great. I love it. Ladies, you guys have shared such great stuff. And you're right. Take the stories of others. Go ahead, Julie. Yeah.
Just one thing I wanted to add when you add, this is what I would say also. If you're a single agent, grab somebody in the office. Don't be the only one at the open house. Don't be a single agent at open house. We always have 2 to 3. And if you're going to have 2 to 3, script practice and make sure that every agent there, now they're on my team, knows everything about this home, and make sure you sound the same. So I let them buy the gate. Like, they got to get through to me first. Now I know that they're going to go. And if they ask Julianne a question, she's going to say, well, that's an interesting question. Tell me more. If they're downstairs and they say, Lisa, I'm like, we're not sure about this. Well, how can I help you? Like, make sure all of you script and you sound the same and you know the answers about the home. And even when I have to get my husband in there at the last minute on the waiver, okay, let's talk about our scripts. How do you ask questions? Yeah.
We do a huddle before we
do a huddle. Perfect.
Yeah.
And how are you handling leads in that case, Ish? Because you're a solo agent, so you've got people coming with you. How does the lead distribution work?
That is a very good question. I put them into my KW database, tag them in, and the agents who helps me with the open house, I talk to them. I tell them these are the leads that I wanna. If I get 10 leads, I wanna concentrate on these leads. You can take the rest of the lead.
Okay, so it's your listing, so you're going to take the front end of the leads, but look, you're going to share. There's going to be enough to go around, so we'll all make it work, but set that expectation up front. Yeah. Again, this was great. I appreciate both of you for sharing. Folks watching, go run the play. They just gave it to you step by step what to do so that you can create the best opportunity for your seller. You can set yourself apart from other agents in the area and get home sold quickly. Ladies, thanks again. Appreciate you.
Thank you.